TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Diamond, your State Farm Insurance agent in Dekalb. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in Dekalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Diamond and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. Don't forget Kids Eat for Free on Thursday. For delivery or pickup, go to pizzavilla.com or call 815-758-8116. Elder Care Services of DeKalb. Safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay in home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org. My Insurance Guy in Sycamore covers Medicare to auto care and everything in between. Stop by at 204 South Main Street in Sycamore. Call 815-899-0950 or online at myinsuranceguy.com. Welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed, podcast number 37, sports bonus number 4. An honor to have privilege with us. Well, let me read this. Committed, honored to announce I'm committing to Northern Illinois University to continue my academic and athletic career. Thank you to the NIU staff for the opportunity to live out my dream of playing Division I football and baseball. And who's saying that? It's Cole Latimer who's with us right now. Cole, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you, sir?
I am great. I tell you, it's monumental what you're doing, Cole. And I want to talk to you. You know, as I researched more, I realized how big it is what you're doing. Playing 2 Division I school with sports is amazing stuff. We also have some other guys. Is this your agent with you, I think? Or I've seen him hanging around your baseball games. Of course, it's Josh Latimer, longtime star at DeKalb High School and going coach now as well. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good, sir. How are you, T?
I can't imagine you're beaming with any more pride with this guy sitting next to you.
I'm very ecstatic. Everyone knows I'm an emotional guy, and this is a big time for him. I'm super excited for him, the opportunity he's got, and the family. So he's doing some great things.
Cole, you know, we had your partner in crime, Davon Grant, here last week, and I was talking to him about playing the 2 sports. And when you go into high school your freshman year, what were your thoughts? Were you going to focus on one sport? I think you even dabbled in basketball a little bit, didn't you?
Wrestling, actually.
Wrestling, okay.
Yeah, I was a big wrestler, middle school. But when I got to high school, I knew it was going to be baseball or football in college. I never really knew which one it was going to be. And then when the recruiting process kind of started, it was kind of both coaches kind of reaching out for both sports. So, I mean, taking the opportunity to play both, I mean, I've seen some big guys do it. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, they always played both sports. So,
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I looked it up at NIU, and it's a slim pickings. There's not many guys who did that. They even in the description, they even say it's very rare for people to play 2 sports at the same time. DeLuca was a guy who played lacrosse at Duke and then came and started for the football team. Okay. I remember interviewing him, who was also a veteran as well. But very few guys are doing what you did. And tell us, Josh, let me ask you about the recruiting process. How did you keep things straight with Cole when you got baseball recruiting and football recruiting going on almost at the same time?
It was hard.
I bet.
It is very, very hard. You know, we sat there and as Cole got letters and, you know, coaches talking to him in both sports. You know, we try to find camps. We try to find game day visits. People would want him to come out. You know, it's hard. It's very, very tough in that situation. And, you know, from the very beginning of it, I just told Cole at the end of the day, I said, let's keep, you know, all options on the table. I said, be like a kid at the buffet, you know, and see. Somebody may want you to play baseball. Somebody may want you to do both. Somebody may want you to play football. I said, fall in love with somebody and something, and let's go from there. So it hasn't been an easy process, I'll tell you that much.
Now, Cole, as you were being recruited, did you always have in the mind that you wanted to play both sports, or were you, as you heard different offers, maybe actually lean one towards one or another?
Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to play both sports. I mean, always saying going to the NFL and playing in the MLB, but I mean, that's something else. I've always wanted to play both sports since I was a little kid, and then getting the opportunities, like once it started becoming more realistic that I could actually do it, I would definitely started going from there, yeah.
Now, your partner in crime, Mr. Grant, off to University of Illinois, and want to talk about your relationship with him, but he decided on the one sport, and even he had to give up his high school basketball season to graduate early. Was ever those thoughts? You ever thought, you know, I'm just going to have to give it up, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and either play football or play baseball?
No.
No? That's great. That's great.
My goal was always to go into college and be able to play both sports, whether that was going to be a smaller school, but lucky enough I was able to get some more attention from the bigger schools, which I always wanted. But if it would have came down to coming to a smaller school, I never wanted to have to give up the baseball or the football, so I would have kept it going.
And Northern was one of the few Division I schools that made you that offer, that you were able to do that.
Yeah, kind of like the only one to do both at the Division I level was Northern. So I kind of just wanted to take that opportunity and run with it.
That's great, man. Now, I got a great quote from you. It says, quote, I know having a social life is pretty much out the window at this point, said Cole Latimer, who's about to commit at NIU. Tell us about what are you going to take in school? Are you just taking general studies right now, Cole? Or are you leaning towards something?
Coaches always ask me, what do you want to study? And the answer they don't want is playing ball. But that's all I
Well, sports management or something like that?
It's probably going to be something like that, but I know I just want to play football and baseball as long as possible. Hopefully make a career out of it one day.
That's great, man. It's, again, there's some great support from the community here. This is a quote, your practice games travel will become your social life. It's not a typical college experience, but in many ways cooler. And it's signed Jamie Latimer. Now, is that somebody related or no?
That'd be my wife.
That's the wife. Okay,
And
so
his
Jamie
mother,
telling
yes.
me that's going to be your so. Good luck, Cole. You're going to crush it at NIU. That's from Tanya. I like this one. Vicky says, congratulations, this hardworking student athlete. I had a student at NIU several years ago that did this. He was busy, but he got it done. So do you know who that she's referring to, or is that?
I do not actually know.
But does it encourage you to know that you can do it? I mean, because like
Yeah,
I said,
definitely.
what you're taking on is just immense. It's just amazing.
It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm ready for it. The social life, I'm not really worried about all that. I'm kind of ready for just school, get back to work, and it's going to be the same thing every day.
That's great. How about hometown boy makes good? Because, I remember when Cole Tucker went to play at NIU, attendance went up. People paid more attention, and we're certainly going to pay more attention now with you on the football and the baseball team. What does it mean to play at your home team like that?
I
Hometown?
mean, it's a lot. It's a blessing. Going out on Friday nights playing in front of your hometown is a big thing, and not being able to go to college, it's right in the back door. NIU's right there. So, like you said, Cole Tucker was able to bring a lot of people out, being like a hometown type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to, earn my way up the roster and everything, up the depth chart once I get there, coming in, and hopefully, like you said, the hometown type of thing. I hope to have the community there. It's gonna bring everything back how it was a few years ago when NIU was a big type of team.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to.
That's
bring it
great.
back,
Yeah, that's wonderful. So let's talk about baseball a little bit. I forget you still have another baseball season left, so we have to talk about that. Well, what's been the high point for you so far? As I was looking at your numbers, how you're ranked in the state, and you gradually worked your way up every season. What is that like to look at those numbers and see how you're ranked in the state?
The ranking, I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't really pay attention to it. I just try to, I kind of just try to put my head down and work, and
Right.
accomplishments come in and stuff, and it's great to see. It means I'm earning some stuff. It means I'm doing good things. But I really just try to put my head down and work, and whatever comes in, and I'm grateful for it.
Okay, and Josh, I know you're a big stat guy. I was reading an article about you where with Greg Maddox used to all his pitches. You used to record all his pitches.
Yeah,
back there.
for sure.
But how do you helping Cole to keep all this together?
Am I helping him?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah. We're doing a lot of things. We have a lot of talks. A lot of people will ask about our relationship or our friendship or different things. But when we get home, we try to keep it dad and son. But at the same time, Coach does come out, and we have a lot of talks on how to manage and how to prioritize this. So he's been doing a great job, which I'm really excited about. Learning how to, what time he needs to get up in the morning, when he needs to,
time management.
lift.
Yeah.
Time management is huge when he needs to lift in the morning. What his day looks like for school. Afterwards, do we have open gyms? Can I go hit? Can I go throw? So we talk about it all the time, and the good thing is he's taking some advice.
Yeah.
So slowly and surely he's taking some advice.
Well, I refer to Mr. Grant, who was here. I guess the Ohio State was here, a coach, Grant, number one team in the country. And they were talking about Grant being coachable. And he said the reason he's coachable is that he listens. He said that's Peter Golf said he listens. And I imagine, Cole, you do the same thing. It's very important to listen as sort of touting your own skills that you have.
It definitely is. I try my best to listen to Coach over here. Like you said, the father-son relationship, it's I try my best, but being coachable is a big thing. You have to have it, especially going into college. High school, you can teach it, but going into college, you have to have it right away.
And how do you separate it, Cole? Because, it sounds great. We're coach and player at the game, and then at home we're father and son. But I'm sure that it flows over occasionally like that. And are you able to let it go? Oh, geez, Dad, why'd you yell at me like that?
I always understand where he's coming from at times.
He's a passionate guy.
Yeah. And I know with his career, he made it a long way. So I know he knows what he's talking about. I hope to make it as far as he did one day. So I always know, he's right about everything.
Well, let's jump ahead while we're talking about the old man, because, again, I was talking about Mike and Sean Reynolds and how they were able to separate that. Josh Latimer pitched the Dekalb to the state tournament in 1995. Mm-hmm. He was assistant coach in the Barbs, the only other team run in Class 3A last year's Class 3 runners-up. Latimer, here's what I want you to hear, Cole. This is the article back in 2011. Latimer, one of the biggest names in Dekalb baseball history. So there you go. All right here in print. Still lives in Gals. Now, this is what I talked to you about the time management. This is your old man back in 2011. Still working 2 full-time jobs in Dekalb, a wife and 3 kids. Teaching special needs kids in Dekalb and working at Warehouse Distribution Center Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you were doing that, Josh?
I did that for about 4 years, yeah.
Is that right?
I was working and dealing with behavioral and special ed.
Well, God bless you for that. I got a whole new respect for you for that. I didn't know you did that.
I did that for a long time. I did that for probably 10 years of my life, and I loved doing it. And then I would go to the Target distribution warehouse and work
6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
3/12s. So usually every weekend I would go about 60 hours without sleeping.
Really?
Yeah. So for about
and then
4
in the
years.
article it says Josh Latimer doesn't have time for baseball, but he makes time. So there you go. And that's going to be the same thing with you, Cole, right? You don't have time to play football and baseball and go to school, but you're going to find a way to do it.
We'll have to make it, Make this happen.
Did you know about the old man working that much with the...
I didn't know it was that much. I knew he had a couple jobs back in the day, but I didn't know it was that much. He works very hard, and it shouldn't go unnoticed.
Now, let's talk about your high school football career. Again, you got better every year, too, working on your game. As a senior DeKalb football team, you completed 58% of your passes, 1,665 yards, playing in 8 games. You threw 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. How did you get better every year, Cole? What specifically? What did you work on?
Being coachable and the experience going from sophomore year to junior year to senior year, being more comfortable. So that first game against Sycamore, my sophomore year, I was very nervous. A lot of us were. I'm sure Davon, Owen, they would all say the same thing. We were very, very nervous. And so going into that game junior year, it felt completely different. Like looking up into the stands, you're like, wow, I'm used to this. This is where we're supposed to be. Let's go. It's go time. And so those years of experience help a lot. Being coachable. Once junior year started, senior year, I knew that football was going to be, I always knew baseball was going to be, it was whether or not football was going to be there. So once I knew football was going to be in the cards, I realized I needed to start putting in a lot more time than I was. So this past season, I was 7-on-7 stuff, working with a couple more coaches on the high school team, just trying to perfect my game as much as I can to get onto like a big field like NIU, and really just putting more time into football. Managing it with baseball as well. So,
and talk about your coaches, Coach Neiman, and the folks that have helped you along the way in football.
Yeah, Coach Neiman, Coach Lupton. He was, he came onto the coaching staff last year. In the off season, Coach Lupton, we talk a lot, and we're always texting and stuff. And he's shooting me TikToks, Instagram reels about reading defenses and stuff. And I'm always listening to the way he has. Me and Coach Neiman during school, a lot of study hall hours. I'm going into his class.
Yeah, Cole, we were asking about that. Tell us about that again, please.
So football had reached out first with the opportunity to come play football, and then they had actually in the text they had said something about baseball too, and that's when I really got excited. He sent the text to my dad, and he said, "Let's hear what they have to say." And so went in, talked to Coach Hammock, talked to all the offensive coordinator, talked to all the coaches, went around, talked to everybody. I loved what everybody had to say, and then went downstairs to the Cheswick Center and talked to Coach Copeland, and he was in there with some of the other coaches, and I liked what he had to say too. They also have an opportunity for me to come play ball there, and I heard it from both coaches, and so I was ready to go.
That's now I'm thinking about your arm too, because I've never talked to guys that play the pitch and play football, but you're an outfielder, but again you're a quarterback as well. So how do you train the arm differently for the two sports?
Sometimes football coaches say they can tell I'm a baseball player by the way I go through football. I know that in the outfield you gotta have a long levered arm. And then football it's different. When I drop back and I throw a deeper ball, my arm might get a little longer. But when I throw the short passes, I know I gotta just get it out quick. It's kind of just muscle memory at this point.
Sure, Larry Bird used to say that. It's muscle memory.
Yeah. So I kind of know when each ball is in my hand, just change up.
Just by the feel of the ball. That's great. Now, I was saying, I looked up the multi-sports at NIU. Dave Mason, who was a baseball player, but this is a high school. He played 11 varsity sports in high school, played football and basketball at NIU. L.Z. Cooper played football, baseball, and basketball in the 1930s at NIU. Wow. He was the first black player to get a letter in any sport at NIU. So pretty amazing there. But Cole, I'm wondering, I hear about quarterbacks switching to wide receiver and stuff. You ever thought about maybe switching positions? Has that come up at all?
I always talk about that. If I go into NIU and they need me to play a different position, I'll go anywhere. Being coachable is the biggest thing. Wherever I can get on the field and play, quarterback is of course going to be my main goal. But if they need me at tight end, wide receiver, I got some hands. If they need me, for sure.
That's great. Hey, yeah, Josh, you're laughing over there, but that's great attitude. Again, that's coachable.
It's a great attitude. I disagree with it because I think his arm just speaks for itself. But I laugh when he says it. But
how is it you didn't have Cole pitching as a kid? Or I'm sure you probably did.
You know what? Cole he's always had the ability to throw, and this year it might be a little different. He might get on that mound a little bit more. But he's been so valuable. And even when he was younger, he was just so valuable in the outfield, and doing other things. Everyone's just kind of, you're there if we need you. You're there if we need you. So that's just kind of the way it's been.
Now, we were kidding about your time at Genoa Kingston, but tell us about that. Coach Josh Latimer wanted to coach at Dekalb, but there was no opening, so you saw an opening at Genoa Kingston. Really turned that program around. It's amazing what you did. They were, I think, 1-11 the year before you came, 7-22 in the year before you came, 11 years with a losing season, and you turned them around that very next year. Tell us about that.
It was, there were some kids there that, a lot of athletic ability and stuff. When I took that, it's actually funny. I had applied for the Dekalb job at that time when it had came open, and I did not get it. And my dad called me up and he said, hey, there's a job opening at Genoa Kingston right down the road. And I went down and met with the AD, had my interview, and sat there for 4 hours. My wife had actually called me twice, thought I ended up in a ditch on the way home. And I
was
said,
that Phil Jerby then? Is he still
No,
there?
that was Dirk.
Okay.
When he was there. And we actually ended up talking for 4 hours, and he offered me the job right there on the spot. But to get into that program, there were some good things, and there were obviously some things that were a little frustrating for me, but there were some good kids there that really wanted to compete and wanted to get better. And first year, that was the first winning season in 11 years. It's just unfortunate I didn't have a little bit longer time there, and I chose to step down from there after 2 years, but because I just was not happy with some things. But at the end of the day, the kids that were there, they really wanted to compete and get better, and it was a great thing.
And it was kind of similar to what you came into Dekalb. Dekalb was having some rough times there, not as bad, but
we did, and and it's just one of those things. Everyone knows I bring a little bit different of an attitude. There's a little bit different of a passion and things in the way I go about my business and the way I handle my business. But at the end of the day, I've won, and we're going to continue to win. And I just felt Dekalb needed that little kick in the butt. I know sometimes Mr. Goff and maybe some other people may not always like the way I go about certain things, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're doing some good things there, and it's the key. We got some great kids. We had 3 All-State players last year. We had numerous all-conference guys and broke the single-season wins record. So
the 38 wins in the past 2 seasons are more than you've had from 2016 to 2022.
Yeah.
So that's quite impressive indeed.
Yeah, thank you.
Cole, I want you to appreciate this quote from Matt Cabarone, if I'm saying that right, Josh? Cabarone?
Yes.
From this is back from 2011.
Yep.
Referring to you.
Yes.
He's very intense about the game, at times maybe too much, but I really like what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
So, and he goes on to talk about a game. The best lesson in Latimer's intensity was when they scored 5 runs in the last inning to rally to beat Oregon, but that win was marred in Latimer's eyes by the Cogs umpiring complaint. One of our players was fired up at the ump, and he was not happy about that at all. This is the player saying that. Afterwards, he talked about everything we did wrong, even though we were excited about the come-from-behind win.
Yeah.
So, a 5-run come-from-behind win, and you're complaining about one of the players complaining about the umpire.
It's one of those things, I was a lot younger back then. I don't do that as much anymore, but it was a culture shock what I brought to Genoa. There was guys, they had not seen that before. They did respond to it, but it was a culture shock. But, at the end of the day, you like to win and things, but there's always things to work on. And so that's obviously where that came from.
And Cole, when you look at your old man's methods of coaching, like you said, the numbers are there. I mean, the winning is there. Do you question it sometime? As he said, he's been questioning himself.
I know some people question it, like you said, Mr. Goff. I don't. I think that's the right style of coaching. I look at a lot of more bigger coaches, like all-time coaches, and the ones that win are the same exact way. You look at Nick Saban coaching, the Tennessee coach that just went to the Giants.
Yeah.
My dad's the exact same way, and they win. And I think that's exactly what you need how you need to coach to win. And I love it.
That's great, too. And I didn't emphasize enough about your relationship with Davon Grant. Tell us about that, because people don't realize a lot of times in the summertime, you're throwing to each other all the time, right?
Yeah. We were with each other a lot in the summer. And growing up, too, we've been playing football with each other since we were 7, 8 years old. So growing those relationships with guys like Owen, Davon, it means a lot. So, like you said, with each other, a lot of the summer days, we just really become really close to each other, and I'm grateful for these relationships I've built through my childhood and high school career, and I hope as these guys go on to college, I hope I can keep the relationships.
What was it like to see Davon get the all-time receiving record, and knowing that you threw most of those passes?
Yeah. I mean, I know he works very hard for he's earned everything that he's got, and it meant a lot to me. I mean, growing up, it's almost like a team record, like how
it is.
Almost everybody kind of helped him out get that. So it was great to see. He definitely deserved it. He's a great player, and he's going to do some good things.
We should give a shout out to your offensive line, right? We never give them enough credit. Talk about your big boys up front there.
They never get enough credit. Everybody, guys talk not good about him at times, but they don't understand what we're going up against. I mean, being a smaller school, going up against these bigger teams, I would never make excuses, but realistically, we are the underdogs going into each game, but that's okay. I'm never afraid to compete against anybody, but my line never gets enough credit. They fight their tails off every single game, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
That's well put there. You got to raise your legs high if you want to run with the big dogs. They say so. You got that. That's great. So let's talk about baseball a little bit here now. And for last year, you guys lost to Huntley in the playoffs. They're 8-4. Cole Latimer, one of the players with 2 hits, went 2 for 3 with a home run and a double as well. Talk about that playoff game, Cole, and could have gone either way, huh?
It could have gone either way, and at one point it looked like we were going to take it away, and that's honestly one of the most heartbreaking losses I've ever took in my sports career, including like Sycamore football junior year, like when they
that
came
was
back.
Crushing, yeah.
That regional game last year meant a lot to me, knowing what we could have been with that group of guys. We knew if we were going to do something really big, something special throughout our high school career, it was going to be with those guys: Keys, Brody, Nick Nelson, Paul. It was going to be with all those guys, and seeing that loss like that, I ended up getting ejected, and that was out of how much the game meant to me. Like that, it really hurt. Of course, what I did was wrong, and I showed my emotion the wrong way, but that game meant so much to me, and it hurt a lot to see it go out like that. I don't think it shouldn't have happened.
Well, the fact that you know that, I mean, that's great that you would say that. And you probably didn't take it very well either. But what was that like, the bus ride home from there?
Quiet. Trying to let it soak in to the guys, the seniors. I know it was hard. So, you start off and the bus ride's quiet, and it kind of turns into an inspirational, fellowship, goodbye. Letting each other know that how much we love each other. Like Cole said, that was very well said, Cole. We had expectations. We had huge expectations. Every year, everybody has the expectations. Hey, we want to go to state. We want to do this. We want to do that. But our expectations last year were extremely high, and I know it was frustrating. But
a lot of things have to happen right. I made that playoff run with the Sycamore baseball team, and they got to the semis there, and a lot of things happen right with just the pitching rotation, just that alone, right? And
that's the funny thing. We got Jackson out after 3 innings in the regional in the semifinal game, and we had Brody going, and Brody just got his pitch count up a little bit, threw extremely well. 3 unearned runs in the first. It was very unfortunate. Drop fly ball in left field, and that hurt us, but we were able to bounce back from that. Cole gives us the go-ahead run with the home run, and you go from Brody to Jackson Keys, you're figuring, hey, we're the door shut.
Yeah.
We just won the regional championship, and unfortunately they got a couple hits and it didn't turn out our way. But I told the kids, at the end of the game, through all the tears and the emotions, I told all those kids, I said, the only thing I can say to make this feel any better is that there's something bigger along the way in your baseball careers. And I said, whether, Jackson Keys or Brody or Cole or Nick or somebody, you get drafted someday or something, there's something out there that's going to be bigger than that regional championship for you guys. So that was about our.
Yeah, I had a coach who used to say, after a big loss, he goes, "If this is the worst thing that happens to you in your life, then you had a good life."
Exactly. It's a great way of thinking about it. So, Jackson's doing his thing. He's doing well. Brody's doing well. Nick, Isaac, all these guys, Paulie, they're all doing well. I got to see him a little bit in the fall. I've got to see him over break. Jackson and Brody just got put up on the Wall of Fame for their All-State honors last year. Cole will be next year, which I'm excited about. So I've got to see a lot of the guys. They're doing some good things. And you know what? We're going to go back at the grind this year for Dekalb baseball with Cole leading us with some good players coming back. And we're going to try to get a regional championship this year.
All right, let's get it done, too. And now, one of our first sports bonus broadcasts was with Ethan Storm. Ethan Storm, of course, signing with the Tampa Bay Rays. And I'm sure you heard about that, Cole. Was it exciting to hear that, for a school like Sycamore DeKalb, you're playing in the big leagues?
Exactly. It makes a kid in a small town believe that they could do something special like that. It was really cool to see.
Do you know Ethan at all? Do you talk to him at all or no?
No, I didn't know. And I saw that happen, and I hadn't heard of him before, but it's cool, really cool to see.
It really is. It's great to know that. And I'm sure you know Coach Kavanaugh, and again, we talked about the runs that he made, and again, it came up with the playoff run they had where they didn't have their best pitcher ready to go that day. Couldn't go that day. Yeah.
No, and those types of things happen. I mean, a lot of the stars got to align, it did in 2000 or in 95 for us. The stars aligned under Coach Pettengill, and then when Justin had the program in 2010, and a lot of the stars aligned there, so, we hope the stars align this year. Let's say that.
Now, Cole, right now, I'm looking at the last 3 years. In 2022, as a freshman, he was ranked 230th state ranked, went up to 127 in his sophomore year. And then last year, you were ranked 96th best player in the state. And I know a lot of goes into that, Josh. You put much stock into that? I know Cole said not so much, but what do you?
The number, I don't, because actually Cole's up right now. When he had just committed through PBR, I think he was up at 48. Yes. I think he was up at number 48 or 56 or 60, somewhere in there. It jumps around. The number does not, but, when you go to a place like PBR and some of these different things, PBR loves Cole. And they've always done some very good things, inviting him to,
tell people what PBR is.
PBR
to me, it's past blue ribbon.
PBR is Prep Baseball Report.
Okay.
So, they run a lot of camps where there's hundreds of college coaches there. They'll do the PBR. They'll do the All-State games, the Illinois All-State games. They'll have, preseason All-State. So you can go there if it's an invite only. So PBR has kind of been on Cole since he was about 14 years old, and they've watched him. So, at the end of the day, the number of 60 or 48 or 55, wherever he's at, that doesn't really matter to me. The improvements that he's made and where he's at right now, that's what matters to me.
Now, Cole, I see there's somebody that you know or might know that's going to be on your team. They have the recruiting class from NIU this past year. And Kyle Hartman, who I just love, Kyle Hartman, a catcher for the Sycamore Spartans. And he's like you, Jay. He's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, old school, rub some dirt on it. Do you know some of the other players? Because I see some of the other teams that you've played, some of the players that are going to be on NIU's baseball team?
The baseball team, yeah. Going around the country playing travel baseball, you get to meet some kids. So playing, I think a couple of the commits, I've played against them the past summers. So I'm going to get to know them more as we get to become teammates and staying in dorms together too.
Now, do they do the athletic dorm still, or will you be in with the others? Or is there a baseball dorm or a football dorm?
I will be with baseball, football players. I don't know.
Athletic dorm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited though.
I bet you are, man. That's great. I take. So I want to ask you about the NIL or NI. What is it? It's the likeness. I don't know. Maybe you know about it, Josh. Where you can sell your
likeness.
Name, image, likeness. Yeah. Okay, because I remember a player named Garrett Wolf played for the Huskies here in. Great tailback, and they had a cutout of him that they all around there, like the banks, he'd be there and everything. And my understanding was Garrett Wolf didn't get one penny out of that whole thing.
Yeah.
They used his image, the whole thing. He made appearances, but didn't get a penny out of the whole
Yeah.
thing. So what are your thoughts for Cole in terms of making money? Because here he's a hometown boy, quarterback on the football team, or a star on the baseball team. The advertising possibilities are unlimited.
They are unlimited, and I hope at the end of the day, with Northern, I hope that Cole is kind of the name for them. He's kind of the name around baseball right now for us at Dekalb. So, when he goes to Northern, I hope he gets that opportunity and kind of is able to put himself up on a billboard, for baseball or football. So all that stuff, it's a crazy different world right now.
I know.
In the recruiting process and NIL, everything's a little bit different, but I've always said you have to adapt or die. And so, if NIL is in his future, because that's the world that we live in, I hope that he's a part of it.
Well, Cole, the mindset used to be you go off to college to play sports, you're going to be, you break even or lose money while you're doing it. But here's an opportunity for you to make money. Are you excited about that? Do you want to do stuff like that?
I'd definitely be interested. I mean, like you said, the money coming in, it'd be cool to have. But I definitely going into the college and playing sports. I feel like I am a little more old school. I love the game. If I were to get an opportunity to go somewhere really big, I'd do it for zero. It doesn't matter. The money doesn't really mean anything to me, but it's cool to have. It's a blessing. So definitely accept it for sure. But I love the game.
Now let's talk about the portal because I talked to Grant about this and he was saying that he thinks it's a good thing because like if his coach gets canned or goes somewhere else, he can go somewhere else. What do you think about the portal? And do you ever foresee yourself maybe using it at some point?
I feel like you never know the situation where kids are in. Like Devon said, a coach leaving. That I understand that you build relationships with coaches, teammates, guys. You wanna. It definitely helps your career in the game. So I think it depends on the situation. I feel like staying loyal to a school is kind of like old school. I feel like
I like that.
I'm old school.
A lot of us like that. Yeah.
But also the best opportunity. You also have to do what's best for you. You see guys taking millions of dollars in NIL money right now. Like the NFL isn't guaranteed. MLB is not guaranteed. Some of these guys got to make money for their families right now. Because like I said,
I was just telling my wife the other day, NFL stands for not for long, right? So I mean, you got to make your money while you can. It's
exactly
true.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the situation. You got to do what's best for you.
Now, Ethan Storm, we're talking to him, and now he could go to college and play baseball. He has an opportunity to get paid for it. What if that comes up for you in your sophomore, junior year, where they say, hey, come play baseball for us, we'll throw $1 million at you. What are you going to do?
Are you saying like a bigger school or?
Oh, no, pros.
I mean, that's the dream right there. That's the dream. I'd love to go to the pros.
Would you suspend your college career and then pick it up later on? You think? Or?
I think me and Coach right here would have a lot of conversations ahead of us and see what's best.
Well, Josh, you're a realist. I mean, an opportunity to play some ball. You jump at that, or do you wait, ride it out?
Yeah, it's one of those things you kind of see out to figure out the situation. I've been in that situation before, and I've had a lot of friends in that situation. It's just something to look at. I guess now, for me, the biggest thing would be, the round and the amount of money.
Right.
If someone's going to come and offer you, $5,000 and a bus ticket, after your junior year, you still could get better your senior year, I'd tell him no. But somebody comes to you with, you get drafted in the 4th round and they come to you with a $400,000 signing bonus. That's kind of hard to pass up.
Give that a little thought.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to pass up. So.
That's great to know. And we'll wrap things up here. I want to give you guys one word and tell me what that one word means to you. And that word is Buster. Buster? You want to take that one, Josh? Cole's already laughing over there. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I'll probably get emotional here.
Oh, yeah. But it's such a cool thing. I mean, I was researching. I didn't know this would come up. And unfortunately, you lost your grandfather, your great-grandfather.
Yeah, Buster.
Back in 2022.
Yeah. Buster is my grandpa, and he was obviously a huge fan of mine, my brothers, and stuff like that. But my God, he loved all his grandchildren. But Cole was the first great-grandson, and he loved watching him play. Loved watching him play.
Well, let's talk about him playing. He played with the Dekalb Blue Sox. I'm assuming that was like a corporate team.
Yeah. Everything was just around town.
The Sycamore Suns.
Yeah.
And softball with the DeKalb County 35ers.
Yeah. Oh, that was men's fast pitch softball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he was big. just a phenomenal baseball, softball guy and everything. But he was a huge fan of Cole's and of mine, and he was just somebody that we would always go out and talk to. And I mean, it was funny. It was, Cole wrestled for a long time and was actually the state champ in 8th grade. But he always told Cole, he said, get out of that wrestling stuff. He said, you don't need to do that. He said, you're a baseball player, and stuff. And then football came along a little bit, and he's still like that too. But no, he was a huge part of our life for obviously a long time. 100 years old, was still driving.
He's an umpire too.
Yeah, he was an umpire. He was an umpire too. So there's a couple times that, I may not have liked some things that I've said or done or things like that. But yeah, Cole actually, Cole's got a real nice tattoo of him or, some things from his passing and stuff like that on his arm. And, it's one of those things, anytime Cole gets himself into maybe a good situation, a bad situation or something, I told him, always look down there and, what would Grandpa do? But yeah, he's, man, I'm going to say if you want one word, I'm going to say legendary.
All right, well, they called you legendary in the other article. Wait a minute. But I want to mention, too, that he must have been thrilled because it says here he loved the Cubs, and you were drafted by the Cubs. So
Yes.
what was that like, the day you were drafted by the Cubs for the old man?
That was a great day. It was a great day. When I got the call that night and I was a draft and follow where they held my rights and they wanted me to play one more year at Kish, and I went out and I showed Grandpa and he had a smile. He had a smile and went out and I told him and he just smiled.
Uh-huh.
He was a man of very few words.
I was going to say probably a few words, yeah.
He was just that very old school man of few words, but that smile said a lot of things.
And he was an associate member of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association as well.
Went to Vegas every year.
What?
Went to Vegas every year for the
What
PBR.
a guy,
Yeah,
man.
for the bull riding. That was a big thing for him. He loved watching it and stuff like that. Yeah, he was one heck of a guy.
Cole, can I ask, what do you have on your arm to remember your great-grandfather about?
It's a tattoo that's about half of my arm. It's the time and date, and it means a lot. Like I said, every time I get into a situation, I look right down at it. What would Grandpa do?
If it's not too painful to talk about, tell me about when you decided to get that tattoo. Was it something always in your head, or was it spontaneous, or what was that?
Yeah. I've always wanted a tattoo growing up, of course, and when Grandpa passed away, I thought this was a good opportunity for the first one, and it definitely means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot. Grandpa, it's who I do it for every day. That's why I work so hard. This is why what I'm trying to. He means a lot to me, and like I said, I look down at him on my arm every single day, and that's why I keep trying.
And he liked to tell stories about Canada. I always heard about the Canadian.
He flew, had the American flag and flew a Canadian flag.
Oh, very good.
In the yard out at the farm and stuff. We had a big Centennial farm out on Rich Road, and one thing that I've always told Cole, is he always said something to me, and he had said it to my grandma, who's still alive. She's over in Sycamore, in assisted living at 97 years old.
Oh, God bless her.
His wife, yeah. And she always said, she goes, Grandpa always said, Cole's going to be the one to make it. So, we're just going to keep working hard and see if that comes true, So.
Well, I hope this could be first of many visits, although once you start doing that image and likeness thing, I might have to pay you to be here. But
No, not
Cole,
at all.
I can't thank you enough, man. And I'm going to give you let's give the old man the next to the last word. Brag on this guy a little bit. I know you don't need to be encouraged much, but the numbers are there. I mean, Cole has done it. I mean, he's gotten to this point.
He has. He's a gamer. It's a word that I've always brought. I have to give him credit. There's times I've thought that he's not working, and he's working. There's times I've been a little bit hard on him, and probably too hard on him at times. And he's a dog. He's working. I'm so impressed. Athletic ability, smarts. He's good. He's a good young man. He's a good boyfriend. He's to his girlfriend. He's a great son. He's a great brother to his sisters. Grandson, all that stuff. But athletically, he's a dog. And Cole told us that after we had the meeting and all the talks with the NIU. coaches, Cole came home, and about a half hour later, he said, "This is what I want." He said, "I want the D1 platform." He said, "I want to do it at Northern." And
Was that the day it was decided? That must have been such a relief for you, Cole. Wow.
It was 30 minutes after we came back.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you need to tell your mom about our visit," because Coach Schneeman, myself, and Cole went to Northern. And I said, "You need to tell your mom about the visit." And he told her, and then he said, "I want to do it." So he called up Coach Wolf right away, and then Hammock, and let him know. And he looked at me, and I said, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And he said, "It is." He goes, "Dad," he goes, "I want to bet on myself." And I said, "Well," I said, "I've bet on you since you were a little kid." Said, "I'm not going to stop now." So I said, "I'll jump in
getting the goosebumps. I can imagine what you got, Cole.
Yeah,
Man.
so I said, "I'll jump in that car with you. I always have." And I said, "We're going to go." But yeah, he's just complete dog, and I'm excited to see what he does this year for baseball. Hopefully we'll try to get maybe 2 years All-State.
All right.
See what that does for him. But I'm excited when he puts his head to something and puts his mind to something. There's not too many times that he hasn't achieved it. So let's see if he can't do some good things for Northern and the
I love
community
it.
here.
And Cole, I don't think we give enough credit to your mom. I tell you about your mom and your siblings and how they've supported you through this time.
It doesn't. Nobody looks at. She doesn't get enough credit. My sisters don't either. They're my biggest supporters, and they mean the world to me. My mom, she really helps me and my dad a lot. Like we bump heads a lot. Our relationship, we do. With the way we both are, we're both old school. I mean, he's kind of taught me everything. I'm a little him, so we kind of go at each other sometimes. But he's my best friend. He truly is. And my mom, she's the one. She's always been there to help us, and my sisters too. It means the world. I'm really blessed.
Oh, well put.
I'm really blessed.
Very well put. And I'm not over-exaggerating when I was telling you how excited I was to do this interview because, again, it's so unique what you're doing, Cole. And,
Thank you.
And you being a hometown boy and everything as well. And what do you want to say to the folks in Dekalb? Because hopefully you'll be back here a lot and many chances to talk to them. But what do you want to say to the folks in Dekalb who've been supporting you up until this point?
Thank you for your support, and I hope it keeps on coming. And I'm really trying to change some things in the next couple of years here at Northern, and I hope everybody can. The same thing how it was in high school. Everybody can kind of rally up, and it's going to be something special here in the next couple of years.
It is going to be special. We're all going to be watching, and we thank you both for your time this morning and what you've done for this community of Dekalb. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much, T.
Yeah,
This
thank you
is
very
truly
much.
an honor.
This is TD Ryan Unleashed, podcast number 37, sports bonus number 4.